Hello chess lovers, Suren here, and I would like to share with you a very interesting game played by the 10th world chess champion Boris Spassky. His opponent is Gilles Andruet, and the game was played in 1988. Andruet started with d4 and knight f6 by Spassky, c4, e6, knight f3. This knight f3 is like a way of avoiding the Bogo-Indian defense, which can arise after knight c3, bishop b4. But in the game we see knight f3, bishop b4 check, we see Bogo-Indian defense, bishop d2. Now black has several options either to capture on d2 or queen e7 or c5 or even a5 is playable, but in the game we see bishop takes d2 check, queen takes d2, d5, knight c3, black castles kingside, e3, queen e7, black wants to bring on d8 square the rook, rook c1, rook d8, queen c2, knight d7, c takes d5, c takes d5, bishop d3, knight f8, then black will bring the knight on g6 square, and later we will see that the knight will also jump on h4 square. White castles kingside, knight g6, knight e2, already the pawn on c7 is under attack, that's why c6 was played, knight g3, rook e8, queen c5, but black is rejecting the offer of exchange of queens, knight d2, knight h4, already black is trying to organize an attack on the king side, and in return white is counter-attacking on the queen side. a6, stopping b5, now comes a4, supporting the b pawn, bishop d7 and rook b1. Well, playing b5 straight away is not a good idea. Black can capture on b5 and then c takes b5, and now white should play, for example, rook b1 or rook a1, and white can't of course capture on b5 because of this rook a5 move. If rook b1 then b6 and black is losing a piece. That's why after bishop d7 we first see rook b1. Now comes the second knight, knight g4, queen c2, the pawn on h7 is under attack, g6 and b5, a takes b5, a takes b5, h5, b takes c6. Well, instead of capturing on c6, if move like h3 trying to kick away this knight, then white can go for this interesting looking sacrifice on e3. If f takes e3, then rook takes e3. If knight f3, then after the exchange on f3 square, black can play queen g5. If king h2, both protecting the knight and the pawn, then queen h4, and then black can capture on d4. And of course black has a compensation for the sacrificed piece. Actually black has 3 pawns against the piece and also a very active position. But after h5, b takes c6 was played. B takes c6, rook e1, queen f6, the queen is also coming, now the f2 square is under attack, knight f1, white is opening up the second rack, and rook a3, and already black is creating a dangerous rook takes d3 threat. If queen takes d3, then queen takes f2, queen g2, checkmate. That's why rook e2 was played, white is overprotecting the pawn on f2 square. Now comes c5, a very cunning move, and overlooking Spassky's next threat, d takes c5 was played. Actually it was better to play bishop b5, if c takes d4 then queen c5. Of course not bishop d7 because of this d3 fork, that's why white should play queen c5, rook a5, queen takes d5, rook d8. Still black has a slight advantage, but of course I have to mention that this is the best continuation for white. Instead after c5, d takes c5 was played. Knight e5, now that bishop is under attack, bishop b5 was played, but in this position Boris Spassky made a move and white resigned. Can you find his next move? Ready? He played queen f3. Look at this mighty queen sacrifice. This move just came like from nowhere. Right now black is threatening queen takes g2 checkmate, and if a move like g takes f3, then after knight takes f3 check king h1, the light square bishop is coming with a deadly threat bishop g2 checkmate. And it turns out that there is no way to act against that threat, and white king is getting checkmated. Let's just make a random move, bishop takes e8, then bishop g2, and this is a checkmate. A very beautiful final queen sacrifice, I think. Let's have a look at that magnificent queen f3 and the game is over. What a sacrifice. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave your comments. I hope that you enjoyed this final combination.